Hi.
What is the concept of payable AI in OpenLedger, and how does it transform AI models into blockchain tracked assets?
So if you take a look at AI today, right, it's pretty much trained on data that you find on the internet that people can easily scrape and build models, which is good for larger language models. Larger language models need very generalized data, and they've started exploring ways to get more access to data, right? But there is a niche and a requirement for specialized data sets which can enable models to be much better than they today, model which can be purpose driven. OpenLedger lets you go ahead and enable these models to be built in a much more seamless and trustless manner. We want to make sure that specialized models can be built at scale. If you want to be built at scale, you need data contributors to come forward and contribute data. And contributors will only come forward if there's some kind of incentive for them, right? They would want to get paid for it. They would want to be enabled. So that is what OpenLedger figures out basically. We want to make sure that AI is payable to the data contributors. Data contributors have to contribute data to us in order to make sure that the data is useful. And if it's useful, if the AI was able to have an output out of that, if we're able to build models and models were able to infer with this data, based on every inference, every output of a model, we figure out which data contributed for the inference. And if it's useful, if it's impactful, then we reward the data contributors. That's how we make these AI payable and enable this process to be happen much more seamlessly.
Can you discuss how AI developers and data contributors are incentivized within the OpenLedger ecosystem?
Yeah, as I just described to you, data contributors get incentivized as these model gets used, right? As users use these models, every time there's an inference of a model, we figure out which data caused that inference. And we use this, it's called data inf. It's a paper that's we've written over the last year and a half. It basically shows you how data is influencing a model's output. If you take a look at a larger language model, the data is pretty much a black box, so you don't know what kind of data has been trained on. But a specialized model is a fine-tuned version of a large language model where you're able to collect data and superimpose the data to a model. We want to make sure that the specialized data is able to reward people back. The specialized model is able to reward the data contributors back, right? And how do we do that? Every time a model gets fine-tuned, on the fine-tuned layer, we figure out which data is influencing. And we're able to do that only because we have an access to what kind of data sets go there. So that's how we reward the data contributors. Every time data contributors contribute to a model and we use that to fine-tune, we make sure that they're rewarded back as the model gets used.
How does OpenLedger's approach to AI model monetization compare to traditional decentralized models?
So if you take a look at a traditional model, most of the time incentivization doesn't happen at all, right? They find your data that's on the internet, they scrape that and they start using it because that's what they want. They want a very gentle content, right? In certain cases, like OpenAI has reached forward and other companies obviously have reached forward and collected data sets from various enterprises which are willing to give it at a price. But it's a one-time sale. They sell it for one time and models get built. But we want to be much different. We want to make sure that there is a recurring revenue, and we want to approach the skill labor and also data that's among like smaller enterprises, right? Which can enable models to be very niche to a particular requirement. You can't figure out a way where we can just pay them once and then just reward them once at all. You need to have a mechanism where they can be getting paid on a constant manner. That's what is going to enable more and more data to be come forward and be contributed, and very relevant data to be contributed as well, right? So that is what OpenLedger enables. Think of us to be like a SaaS version of data contribution. We want to enable a recurring revenue for the data contributors so that it's an ecosystem which is like a flywheel, right? You contribute data, model gets built, model you get paid for it. You you have satisfied with the amount you get paid for. You contribute more, and then you get better payment as well. Like how YouTube happens, right? You contribute content to YouTube, you have very good content, you get good views, you get paid for it, and then you start to contribute more. Very similarly, data contributors, we want to encourage them to contribute more as they get paid. So that's why it's recurring, and that's how it's different from any traditional methods that is out there.
And the last question, can you please share the roadmap of OpenLedger for the next 12 months?
Yes, so we are currently in testnet right now. We have close to about 1 million nodes that are contributing data sets to us. We have about 10 plus projects building models on us right now. We work with more than 6 plus enterprises out there, including Dubai Tax Authority, Walmart, and many more. We want to expand that as we go. We are going mainnet in about 2 months' time. As we've got feedback from our ecosystem, we want to make sure those are implemented and we go mainnet, we enable more and more people to participate. So we can expect to go mainnet in about 2 months' time.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ramkumar.
Thank you.
Nice.